Hi guys, welcome back to Casually Crafted. My name is Ashley and this is Crafty Chat number 81. So once again, it's been a little while since I've been on here. Things got really busy with the craft fair, and then just the week after that, spending time with the family, and then we had spring break was before the craft fair technically. And then, yeah, so it's just been busy. Kids doing sports and all sorts of things, so this past week I've been meaning to make this video about every night, and then I get home and I'm tired and the kids are in bed and I just haven't felt like doing it. So I found other things to waste my time on. And anyway, so I'm here to tell you about how the craft fair went and show you the few little things that I've been working on and some acquisitions today. So first, the craft fair. I did not go as well as last year, which is kind of sad because last year it was the first time they had even done this craft fair, so we were hoping that it would be better this year, like getting the name out there. It is held at my daughter's elementary school, and so we think maybe like people that hear about it just assume maybe it's just for those, like the kids that go to that school or something, like they don't realize it's for the whole community or anybody who wants to come. So we were in a different spot than before, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. The people right next to us were 3D printing people, and they were selling things pretty cheap, and so they had a lot of customers, and so sometimes we'd have people kind of like waiting to go over there, and they were looking at some of our stuff. But anyway, so my mom came with me and sold some of her artwork as well. So that took a little bit of because we shared a booth, that took a little bit of the cost away from doing it, but still didn't do super well. So I'll tell you what sold. First I'll show you, I forgot to post this on Instagram. I posted it on my personal one, but not on my Casually Crafted one. So here's a little video of like how we had it set up, and yeah, so there's this. Okay, so for what sold, last year I sold a ton of the little ocean animals with the bowl and the rocks and stuff. This year I did a little bit different with having the rocks in a little bag that they could pick, instead of having them already in the bowl like I did last year. So I don't think that really made a big difference, but this time I only sold 3 with a bowl and then 3 of the animals just by themselves. The thing I sold the most of was scrunchies, so I sold 7 scrunchies, and then I sold everything else was just one. So 1 jellyfish, one of the acrylic ones with, I don't know, I showed them in my last video. So 1 jellyfish and 1 small of the birdie friends. I think it was a mallard duck. 1 of my towels. I did sell both snakes, so I showed you the ones that like one was like kind of spirally. That one sold before it even started to a kid who was there with whoever they were helping at their booth. And then the other snake my daughter didn't want me to sell, but I did anyway. And 1 small rubber duck and 1 chapstick holder. So that is all I sold. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a complete waste of my time, but I do feel like it's a little bit frustrating when you make all this stuff for a craft fair and then you don't sell it. So I wonder, like, if I had made more snakes, would people want those more versus, like one family was like, oh, we have that same towel, we must have bought it from you last year, and then like, oh, we still have our ocean animal we bought from you last year, because it was all like families of kids at that school. So I don't know if I had gone somewhere else and sold the same things, if it would have done better, or I don't know. But I dropped my paper. Hold on. Yeah, it was still like fun to do, but it's still, it's a lot of work to do a craft fair and getting there and setting up and all that. So I'm a little disappointed in how that one turned out, but that's okay. So for whips, I brought some yarn to work on a market bag while I was there, so I'll show you what I've done so far. I haven't worked on it a ton. I started it and then I worked on it during like volleyball practice for one of my kids, Then I realized I did something wrong, so I frogged a bunch. So this I'm using a sugar wheel cotton from Hobby Lobby Yarn Bee, and it's the color Sprinkles on top. And this is patterned by Five Little Monsters, something trellis market bag, I don't know. Since this is like a 3-weight, I did do an extra increase for the bottom, so I am like a row off when I read the pattern, but it's got like these little mesh rows and then a regular double crochet row. And I have two of these. But I probably won't need both. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna keep doing the repeat till I decide it's long enough. I'm not really following the pattern exactly since, like I said, it's a smaller yarn. But it's not like my priority project right now either, so it's just kind of there if I need something to grab real quick to work on. So there's that. And then I'm also working on a set of towels that somebody ordered. I posted the leftover towels on my personal, from the craft fair, onto my personal Facebook page, and somebody contacted me and wanted 2 of them, and then said something about wanting more that weren't like seasonal. So the ones that I did were mostly spring and Easter, and a few kind of generic ones. And so I showed her some. She said she liked fall colors, so I showed her some towels that I had that were kind of generic but in fall colors that I had never offered before, because I normally just stick with like the obviously seasonal ones like Halloween or Thanksgiving, not just like generic fall colors. So she picked out some of those, so I'm still working on that for her, and she doesn't even live where I live. She's like an acquaintance from my childhood, like she was friends with my parents, so I gotta ship it to her when they're done. Then another project I just started. This is something I've wanted to make for a while. Years ago, I saw Krista at the Secret Yarnery when I used to watch her more. I don't as much anymore, but she showed this Easter grass she made out of some like something eyelash dazzle, I think is what it's called, from Ice Yarns. So I think I showed this a while ago when I bought it, but this Department 71 Sparkle Lash from Hirschner's. I bought 3 of these in with my intentions to make Easter grass to go at the bottom of your Easter basket and not have the paper grass or plastic grass. We have paper, but flying everywhere. So it's really ruffly and it looks kind of weird because, so I didn't follow her pattern exactly because this seems pretty thin compared to what she used. So I used a smaller hook, and then I just kind of increased when I felt like it, and then whatever. So like if it started kind of bowling up, I would do an increase. So I did end up doing an increase on the last round, which I probably didn't need to because now it's all ruffly. So, but it is the right size to fit in a little Easter basket here. I don't know if you can see that. So once stuff is in there, you won't really notice the ruffles. I didn't weave any ends yet because I'll probably just tie them off and hide them a little bit. So I have 3 of these balls of yarn. I started on a second one and I got this far, so just a little bit in that second one. So it took almost a whole ball to make one. So now I'm on the second one. So I at least want to do enough for the kids, their baskets. And then I bought some other yarn that I'll show you here in a minute if I need to for mine and my husband's. I'm not sure if it'll work the same, but we'll see. Okay, my only other whip I just started the other night also is it's gonna be this rainbow, like plushie, I guess you could call it. It's a pattern I bought from Etsy. I follow this person on Instagram. I've bought maybe one of her patterns before. Anyway, it's a rainbow. It looks like it's made out of like Parfait Chunky. I know they don't use that exact yarn, but that's like kind of the sizing of it, I think. And she has a big version and a little version. So I bought the big version, and I'm using Bernat blanket yarn because I want it to be almost like a pillow size, not just like a little stuffed animal. And so my problem was, I wanted to make it with, you know, blanket yarn, like I just said, sorry. But I have red, orange, and yellow in Bernat blanket yarn, and I couldn't find like a good blue or purple to go with, and I already had a green of the other brand. So I had green of the Premier Basics chenille brights, and so I went on to Hirschner's, and I'll show you the rest of that order here in a minute, but I ordered a purple and a blue. But now I'm wondering if I need to go back and buy a red, orange, and a yellow because they are similar. The two brands are similar, but I don't know if it'll be the same. But anyway, here's as far as I've got so far. It looks kind of weird, but you basically, well, you're supposed to start with making like this big strip of red that'll go on the top. But then you make this little oval-y type thing and increase to make it turn into a little U shape. And I was socializing at the same time when I started this, so hopefully it's good. I don't know. But then, yeah, so you only do a few rows of each color. And then, so I'll do green next, because it's backwards rainbow, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then, you know, if I do the yellow, oh, wow, that's blowing up. But if I do the yellow of the Bernat, is that going to look funny because they're different textures a little bit? This is almost fuzzier than this. So I think what I'll do is when I get to the yellow, I'll try it. This is also a little bit brighter than this, but oh well. I'll do a few rows, or at least one or two, and see how it looks. And then if I need to, I'll go back and order more from Hirschner's, even though I don't really want to, but you know, it is what it is. So those are all my whips, I believe. Yes. For acquisitions, so a few weeks ago, before spring break, my mom was at some Joann's. I think she went to 2 of them, and was showing me pictures of what they had and asking if I wanted any of them. So this is what she bought for me. I accidentally left it at her house over spring break, but then she brought it to me when she came for the craft fair the next weekend. I hate when my lighting does this. It randomly decides to switch from like cool to like super bright. Whoa. I don't even know. And then it never goes back to normal. Okay, I think that's the more natural lighting. I don't know. Okay, so this is what I had her get for me at a few different Joann's, and everything still wasn't, like, still not a great price, but we got this Bernat blanket. It is the color grassy. So it's just like kind of mossy greens. And then also a terracotta, this little brown color. And then she only found this one Posh, and this is, what color is this? Lime Glow. So, whoa, there we go. Kind of a bright green. I have this one. What is this one? Why is it so hard to find? Glow Warm. So I have this one already. So I was worried when I told her to get this. I was like, wait, is that the same color I already have? And it's not. It's not the same. So that's okay. Then I had her get some Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Speckle. Don't know exactly what I'll do with that, but I liked the colors. And I feel like some of this stuff I'll be able to still get at Walmart, like mostly the Red Heart stuff, but so I didn't go crazy. This one is just called White Speckle. And then a gray called Light Gray. And then 2 of these Big Twist Value color Cayenne. I don't know if I see that. Just this like brightish light blue. Because I don't know if you can see my blues back here. Maybe it's right here. I have some light blues, but not very many like bright light. And lots of navies and some tealishes. But that's the closest. So I had to get 2 of those just because you never can have too many blues apparently. Okay, so that is the Joanne she got for me. At Walmart I also found this clearance. It was $7. So, I mean, not a lot off from Walmart price, but if you're thinking they're normally like $12 at Joann's, it's still pretty good. And this is the color Teal Dreams. So the color is actually showing up pretty good. Teal doesn't usually show up that great on my camera, so that looks about right. Then my Hirschner's order, besides the 2 basics that I got, I just got some more Parfait Chunky based on kind of what I used up and any colors that I didn't really have. So I got this cotton candy, light pink, and this tangerine. Between pumpkins and some goldfish last year, I only had like a little ball left of that orange. This lagoon color. And another white, because I'm getting low on white. I think that's it for that. So then so that snake that I talked about, the one that kind of swirly, the one that I made was using some, I can see it over there, I don't want to grab it though. It's some sort of Baby Bee from Hobby Lobby, but it's thinner, it's like a thinner chenille yarn. So I wanted to see if Hirschner's had any kind of thin velvety or chenille yarn. They have the holiday velvet, which I already have, but it's only in like red and greens, and that's all I have at least is red and greens and maybe some white. So I found this one, Soho Sweet Speckles, and this is kind of a green speckly color. So I thought that could be a fun snake color, or maybe use some of the, I'll have to see if the other greens that I have match, and maybe do some striping with it. So I only got one of those. And then this one is Soho Mystical Chenille, so it's a smaller ball. That is really not showing up at all. It is, there we go. It looked a lot more colorful on the picture, so I'm kind of disappointed that it's almost all white with just a little bit of speckles of color in there. So I don't know if this will really work for a snake. I don't really want a white snake. Like in the pictures, I feel like it looked like a lot more speckles than white. So anyway, I got 3 of those, so now I don't know what I'm going to do with those. If you have any ideas, let me know. But yeah, so I don't know if they have other colors. I'd have to go back and check. That would be less white, but I just needed to kind of get up to the the $35 for free shipping at the time, so those were an experiment besides getting all the Premiere stuff. Only other acquisitions is, where did it go? I just went to Joann's on this last Monday. This probably won't come out till Monday night, so about a week ago. And there was not a whole lot left. They were starting to sell, like that a sign saying they were selling the fixtures and stuff. So the only things I got yarn-wise was I got this color of Pretty in Pink Lily Sugar and Cream cotton, just because, I don't know why. It was like a spur of the moment thing. I walked past it a few times. I might make a market bag out of them or something like that, most likely. And then I also got 2 of these Red Heart Scrubby Sparkle. And this is what I was talking about for more Easter grass. Since it's sparkly and, you know, kind of fuzzy, I'd probably have to hold either 2 together or hold it with another yarn to get as much fuzz as that other. I don't even know where I put it now. Oh, I have stuff in it. The other Easter grass that I just made, but it would work. It it would maybe work. I don't know. We'll try it and see. If it doesn't work, I'll just, next time I do a Hirschner's order, I'll just get more of those that I already got and make them for next year, because they don't really need to be perfect for this year. Yeah, so that's all the acquisitions. The only finished projects that I have to show you guys are the baby blankets that I keep meaning to show you. So the first one is the one that the baby was born in like January, and I wasn't done, and I still haven't shipped it. But I'm gonna see that person's sister this next weekend over Easter. So, and then she said that the person it's for will be in town the week after. So I'm gonna give it to her to give it to him, so I don't have to ship it to like Iowa or wherever they live. So I do have the last ends to weave in, apparently. I thought I got them all, but it looks like that's it. But here it is. This is the Doodad pattern by Hooked on Sunshine, or Hooked by Sunshine. I can never remember if it's on or by. And this is a mandala baby bonus bundle. And yeah, I don't know. I pretty much finished it like a month or two ago, so I don't even remember what I wanted to say about it, but there it is, all finished. I think I did break into the second ball. I bought 2 balls. I broke into it a little bit, just because I wanted to end in this pink color. I didn't want to end in the brown. So I did keep repeating. I made up my own border because I didn't want to, I was going to run out of this pink, and I didn't want to go into a new color to get to where they said the border would be. So I think I don't remember what I did, but I just made something up. It's like a single crochet and a half double crochet in each space, I think, but I turned it so that I was working on the back side so that it would poke out more on the front side. I think that's what I did. I don't really remember. But it's done besides those ends, and I need to package it up and get it ready to deliver. So then the other baby blanket is not here. I did ship that one the other day to my friend who moved away recently. Her baby was due around Mother's Day, so I did get that one out in time. And she just got it in the mail yesterday. She said she got it. So this is the Ridged Ripple Star Blanket by Hooked by Robin here on YouTube. And I used this Picasso from Ice Yarns. I think they came in a 6-pack, and I was doing like every 5th row I would do some white. See, I'm all tangled with my white here. And I don't know, it just depended on wherever it landed. It wasn't really part of, like, it wasn't within the repeats of the pattern to do it that way. I just liked that spacing of the white. And yeah, so I used all of it but one. This was the last one, and I did work into it. My plan was to not use the last one at all, but then the last few rounds that I was finishing took up more yarn than I expected, so I did break into it. So I'm not sure what I'll do with this last little bit. It's like most of a ball, but they're little balls, so I'm not sure. So my biggest thing with this one, it was weird. This has never happened to me before. So I just had it in my car for a while. It had a million ends because of all the starts and stops of the color changes, and then a few like knots here and there that I had to cut out of the yarn. So I just kind of had it in a bucket in my front seat, and I would like weave in a few ends and then work on something else, just because I wasn't in a big hurry to finish it, but it was boring to weave in all the ends at once. And then, so I weaved in all the Picasso yarn first, and then I started doing the white, and I was kind of working out towards the middle, and then I got to like, I don't know, I picked it up one day and I was like, there's a giant hole in my project. Like, where did this come from? So I'll show a picture I tried to take a picture of it. somehow where I ended, like slip stitched the white and then fastened off, somehow that started unraveling. And so my next row on top of that just had like loose double crochets hanging out. So when I saw that, I just pulled like the white through all the loops to kind of like keep it from unraveling more. And then I had to figure out how to fix it. Nothing like that has ever happened to me before. So I kind of like went back and re-listened to the pattern, like what happened on the row that was on the white row that was falling apart, and then what were the things that we were doing on the next row, so I could see where to kind of attach the double crochets that were there to like where to put them. So I kind of fixed it. It doesn't look that great. If you don't know what you're looking for, you might not notice, but I don't know how to fix stuff like that. So luckily, like parts of it were in like a chain space, so that part stayed there. But then I had 2 double crochets that needed to be worked into 2 new double crochets, and I wasn't sure how to make the double crochet out of the white and loop the loop back around of, you know, the row above, the colorful row, and get it to loop into the right spots. So I tried it like a few different ways and none of them looked right. Like one looked like it was like a front post or back post or whatever, like it was around the posts of the double crochet instead of around like the actual stitch. So I don't know. Hopefully she doesn't notice. So I fixed it and I tied it off and I woven those ends really good, hopefully, and sent it off to her. So I don't know. But yeah, and that's everything. Easter is this next weekend, so I'll be out of town again. So hopefully I get those Easter grasses done. Other than that, I did not work on, let's see, the unfinished project was hats, or this one specific hat. So maybe I'll pull that out after Easter and finish that and then spin again. I do want to start on fall and Halloween items just in case I do that craft fair again in the fall. My eye is twitching. And so I'll get the spinny wheel out for that too. I did start another project, but it's for my mom for Mother's Day, so that'll be worked on in the background. And then, like I said, that market bag's not a big hurry, but I do need to get those towels done. So right now, this week is the Easter grass and the towels. And then if I get those done, I think I have 4 more to make. If I get those done before I head out for Easter, that would be good. But yeah, after that, besides Mother's Day, I think I can start working on fall stuff. So that'll be fun, I guess. Which I'm kind of bummed because there's a lot of the spring stuff that I didn't get to, and I almost want to make more snakes, but there's a lot of fall stuff that I want to do too. So sorry, I hear my daughter crying upstairs, so I gotta go. But yeah, so we'll see how things go. Life is just crazy all the time. With kids and whatever. But anyway, I will talk to you guys next time, and hope you enjoyed a little bit of rambling. So talk to you next time. Bye, guys.